whispers beyond the walls. In the quaint, unassuming town of Hallows End, nestled between a dense forest and an ancient cemetery, stood an old mansion known as the Blackwood Manor. The townsfolk whispered about the manor's dark past, tales of untimely deaths and eerie occurrences that kept even the bravest at bay. The mansion had been abandoned for decades, its windows shattered and ivy creeping along its once grand facade. Yet it was never truly empty. Mira Donovan, a curious and adventurous young woman, moved to Hallows End to escape the mundanity of city life. Drawn to the mystery of the manor, she rented a small cottage nearby, much to the dismay of the locals who warned her of the dangers that lurked within the old walls. But Mira, ever the skeptic, dismissed the stories as mere superstition. Her days were spent exploring the town, and her nights, pondering the secrets that Blackwood Manor held. One stormy evening, Mira decided to investigate the manor. Armed with a flashlight and a determined spirit, she ventured to the decaying gates of Blackwood. The iron gate groaned as she pushed it open, sending a shiver down her spine. The wind howled through the trees and the sky roared with thunder, yet Mira pressed on. Inside, the air was thick with dust and the scent of decay. The manor's grand halls, adorned with faded portraits and cobweb-draped chandeliers, seemed frozen in time. Mira's footsteps echoed eerily as she made her way through the labyrinthine corridors. The whispers began as she reached the heart of the mansion. At first, they were faint, like the rustling of leaves, but soon they grew louder, more distinct. Voices, dozens of them, murmuring, pleading, warning. Mira's heart raced as she tried to decipher their words. "Help us," they seemed to say. "Free us." Driven by a mix of fear and curiosity, Mira followed the voices to a room at the end of a long, dark hallway. The door, unlike the others, was pristine, untouched by time. She pushed it open and stepped into a room bathed in an unnatural, ethereal glow. At the center stood an ornate mirror, its surface swirling with mist. Mira approached the mirror, captivated by the figures that danced within the glass. Ghostly apparitions, their faces twisted in agony, reached out to her. She could feel their pain, their desperation. The whispers grew louder, almost deafening, as the spirits pleaded for release. Suddenly, a cold hand gripped Mira's shoulder. She spun around to find herself face to face with a spectral figure, its eyes hollow and its mouth a gaping void. "You should not have come here," it hissed, its voice a chilling whisper. "They are trapped, and now, so are you." Panic surged through Mira as she stumbled backward, her mind racing. She had to find a way out, a way to free the spirits and herself. Her eyes darted around the room, finally landing on an old leather-bound book lying on a dusty table. She grabbed it, flipping through the brittle pages until she found a passage about the mirror. According to the text, the mirror was a portal, a prison created by a malevolent entity that fed on the souls of the unfortunate. To break the curse, one had to recite an incantation and shatter the mirror with a consecrated object. Mira tore through the mansion, searching for anything that could serve as a weapon. In the attic, she found an antique dagger, its blade engraved with holy symbols. With the dagger in hand, she returned to the room, her heart pounding in her chest. The spirit's whispers became frantic, urging her on. She stood before the mirror, reciting the incantation from the book. As she finished, she raised the dagger and brought it down with all her might. The mirror shattered into a million shards, each piece dissolving into mist. The spirit's cries of anguish turned to sighs of relief as they were finally freed from their torment. The spectral figure that had warned her dissipated, its duty fulfilled. Mira collapsed to the floor, exhaustion and relief washing over her. The whispers had ceased, and an eerie silence settled over the manor. As she made her way out, the storm had passed, and the first light of dawn broke over Hallows End. The townsfolk were astonished when they saw Mira emerge from Blackwood Manor, alive and unharmed. The mansion, once a place of dread, now stood silent and empty, its curse lifted. Mira's tale became legend, a story of bravery and the triumph over darkness. But in the quiet of her cottage, as she lay in bed that night, Mira heard a faint whisper. "Thank you," it said, a final echo of the souls she had freed. And with that, Blackwood Manor's long, haunted history came to an end, leaving behind only whispers in the wind. Watching, please like, share, and subscribe to the Shadow, Veil,